Welcome back everyone to Fish. Today I've got a new test for you, like my test from Bed Wars and Islands, but this time it's whether or not you're a noob or you're a pro in Fish. How this works. So for every question I'm going to ask you, there's a set number of points that you need to write down if you've never done it or don't know how to do it. Then at the end of the test, we're going to have you add up all the points. And if you're over the noob limit, then you're a Roblox Fish noob. That's right. If you are over this number at the end of this test, you are a big Fish noob. So before I begin, if you could hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, because that might be a part of the test a little bit later on. So keep that in mind. Let's go. So first up, if you've never reached another island other than this starter island, you got to write down 20 points. We're off to a rocky start already, because if you haven't left the starter island, you're probably going to, you're going to be like a mega noob, like a record-breaking noob. So write that down somewhere. I don't care where you do it. You can put it on a notepad. You can write it in the sand. You can write it on your table, cardboard, your hand, arm, ceiling, walls, whatever you need to do. Just write down these points so we can track them later. Next, if you've never caught a fish, we're off to another bad start. In that case, give yourself 20 points. And let me just say, it's really easy to fish. Maybe just play the game at some point here. But yeah, all you got to do is just make sure the fish lines up on the white box. It's not that hard. Next question is if you know how to buy enchanted relics. If you don't know how to buy enchanted relics, maybe you don't even know what they are. But if you have never bought them, not saying caught them, I'm saying bought them, give yourself 10 points. Next up, if you don't know how to get truffle worms, maybe you already have them, but you don't know how to get more of them, give yourself 10 points. As a quick tip, you can get them from geodes, which are available in the Desolate Deep. You can also get them through volcanic geodes, treasure chests sometimes, and sometimes codes. Next up is whether or not you have the Trident Rod. The Trident Rod is a great fishing rod in the game. Most people get it because obviously Atlantean mutation is kind of nice. But if you don't have one, give yourself 10 points. Now, if you don't have one because you skipped it, you still need to give yourself 10 points. I'm sorry. Next one's probably kind of obvious, but if you don't have the Rod of the Depths, give yourself 15 points. Yep, that's right. It's 5 more points to the Trident. And yeah, even if you skipped the Rod of the Depths for the Heaven's Rod, you still need to give yourself 15 points. Now I'm going to ask you, why don't you have Rod of the Depths? You should probably put that in comments. I want to know. Next up, if you've been playing in the dark and have never purchased a lantern, give yourself 10 points and go buy yourself a lantern behind Moosewood and stop playing in the dark. Next, if you do not have a jet ski yet and you've been maybe paddling on a, surfboard, or you got a rowboat or something else that's quite slow, but you don't have a jet ski, give yourself 10 points and maybe start saving. It's nice to be able to zoom around. Our next question is kind of tricky. Actually, it's not. But if you've never completed the Desolate Deep Bestiary, maybe you're stuck on that stupid sea mine. Yep, I got stuck on it too. I did. I'll give you some tips in a little bit, but give yourself 10 points if you never completed it. And if you haven't completed it yet, here's the tip. Go get a boost from Merlin, pop an Aurora Totem, and have someone boost the server. You're going to get so many sea mines. I got 3 of them in a row because of that. So super easy. Next, this is really for the newbies, like big noobs. If you get stuck in the vertigo or the depths and don't know how to get out of it, give yourself 20 points. Like, hopefully no one's having to write this down. Hopefully this is not you, but if it's the case, give yourself 20 points. And then start using a conch shell, because that's how you get out. Next one is if you've never bought or used a sundial totem, give yourself 10 points. And sundials, if you don't know what they're for, you're definitely noob, but I'm gonna just tell you right now. You can use them to change the night cycles, and you buy them at Sunstone, kind of in like this little cave. Just look up the location in the wiki. Next, if you've never used a GPS or have no idea how to use the XYZ coordinates, give yourself 10 points. I'm not gonna really teach you on this one. I mean, it's basically like north and south, east and west, up and down. And you could also buy the GPS for $100 at Moosewood, near the pond. Next, if you've never enchanted a fishing rod, give yourself 15 points and start doing it. Enchanting is such a huge part of the game for making your rod better. So whether you want to be able to make more money, you want to make the rod faster so you don't have to keep clicking that shake. Maybe you want more XP using clever. There's all kinds of enchants that do things to the rod that makes the game so much better. Next one is not for everyone. Not everyone's going to get this one. So if you don't have the Heaven's Rod yet, give yourself 10 points. Now, not everyone's going to want this rod because you don't really need it, but you should have it by now if you're a fish pro. The next one's going to be a sad one if anyone has never done this, but if you've never caught a Meg or Megalodon, give yourself 15 points and then go find yourself a Meg. Now, they're not exactly easy, but most newbies can still do it. Like all you need is an Arctic rod for 25,000. Just wait for a Megalodon to spawn or use sundials until they spawn and then go catch it. Ideally on a private server if you can. Next, if you've never used an Aurora totem, give yourself 10 points. And yes, there's a lot of people that haven't done this and it's built into the score. Don't worry. So if you haven't, don't feel bad. You might not be a noob. Now, the next one is probably going to make you a noob, and that's if you don't have the ancient archives unlocked yet. If you don't, give yourself 5 points. It's not a lot of points. Just take it. If you're still slacking, just take it. Ancient archives is a little challenging because you do need friends to be able to complete it. Plus, you need that eclipse totem, or at least for it to be an eclipse. And so, yeah, it takes a little bit of time. The next one is if you haven't reached the top of the Northern Expedition. Northern Expedition can be a little painful to reach, but it's not that bad. It's really like anyone can do it. So if you haven't reached the top yet, give yourself 10 points and then go and finish it. And in related, if you die while climbing the Northern Expedition, give yourself another 5 points. If you're dying, it means you're probably not buying the equipment. Maybe you need a winter cloak, which can keep you from freezing. Maybe you're running out of oxygen because you're not buying an oxygen tank and you're not buying an intermediate oxygen tank, or you're not buying the advanced oxygen tank. Either way, you're probably running out of air. You also need to equip the oxygen tank in order for it to work. Next one, I'll forgive you on if you don't know this one, but if you don't know how the Chiseler works with Amber, give yourself 5 points. Removing the Amber gives you a chance at purified and revitalized mutations, and it makes your fish value normal. But if you keep the Amber mutation, then the fish is worth half the normal value. Next, if you've never found a treasure chest, give yourself 10 points. Like, this is a really basic aspect of the game. If you don't know how to find treasure chests, you do need to fix or repair your treasure map, and then you got to go and use the coordinates with the GPS and then swim down or find the chest, open it, and you're good. The next one probably should have been a little further up for you, but if you've never used bait before, give yourself 20 points. I don't even know how you're surviving in this game without bait. Bait is like so critical to completing stuff. Use bait, but if you've never used it, give yourself 20 points. Next one might be a little tricky for you, but if you don't know what a Nessie is, give yourself 10 points, and then I'll explain it to you. The Nessie was a limited time fish that you could only catch in the ocean, and it was only obtainable during Fish Fright during Halloween. So it is a limited fish, and everyone wants this thing. And next, if you don't know what an NSS means, give yourself 5 points. Now that you've written that down, NSS means North Star Serpent. Next up, if you've never caught a spectral serpent from the brine, give yourself 5 points. And finally, I told you, I warned you, if you haven't subscribed yet, give yourself 5 points. All right, so now what you need to do, you need to add up all of the points that you wrote down. If they total over, I'm saying over 95 points, you're a noob. I'm sorry. That's right. You're a big fish noob. Hopefully this video will help you be less of a noob. Maybe you can retake it. And after retaking it, you won't be noob. Anyway, that was a ton of fun. Of course, I had 0 points from that one. Let me know how many points you got in the comments below, whether you're a noob or not. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, happy grinding. Peace.